the point I wanted to make is that I was trying to think, well, what can we give these little girls that the boys won't take? So I thought, maybe jewelry. So people started sending jewelry, and we started giving it out to the girls. You'll see some of them have jewelry on, and the boys would see the jewelry and they wouldn't want any part of it. I guess it wasn't cool for an Iraqi boy to have an interest in jewelry. So people would send us all kinds of costume jewelry, and we would give it out to the girls. Most of the girls brought it home right away because I think it was very, very valuable, and they weren't allowed to wear it out. We may have given it to her. Maybe she didn't bring it home yet.
Well, how did the soldiers get the jewelry?
Well, I was the only one who had jewelry, but I would write home, and I would tell my aunts and my friends and relatives, hey, if you have any old jewelry, send it. And I had tons of jewelry. As a matter of fact, I think I used to live, before my wife moved twice while I was away, believe it or not. She moved in with my dad. She was with my dad for almost a year, and then my wife bought a house in another part of Upper Moreland Township. But there was a family in our old neighborhood that had a grandmother who died. So the neighbor sent me the grandmother's jewelry box. It was, a large box, jewelry box full of really nice jewelry. And I really believe that there were 2 diamond rings in that jewelry box. And she told me, she said, give everything away. So, we gave it all away. I held the diamond rings till the end. And I don't think I gave them to 2 of the older girls. But I really think that they were diamonds. I don't think that they were cubic zirconium or anything like that. I think they were real diamonds.
This could be a point to talk to people here about what kind of clothing might be appropriate.
Yeah, if anybody has an interest in sending anything over there, believe me, whatever you send, these people will wear. They are no slave to fashion. And you'll see, anybody you see with a Western style, like that sweatshirt, I'm sure we gave them that. I'm sure we gave them that. This dress, I think we gave them that. That's homemade. That's something, that's not homemade. This is homemade. You see how colorful it is. But, and these are, I'm sure these are clothes that we gave them. We also gave them, my wife used to send me pajamas with feet in them, sometimes you see, and the kids would wear these around the village. They thought it was like clothes with shoes already in them. So they would wear you may see them in some of these pictures, but they would wear the footy pajamas all around the village.
This one girl looks like she had blue eyes.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of that. This is during the rainy season. This is like the village green. You see it's dirty and rough. Some of the kids play in the mud. See the flip-flops there?
These all look happy. Are there others that don't look happy?
No, they're pretty photogenic. Whenever our soldiers were around, they were pretty happy because we used to, entertain them. Just like any of you men here or women that are veterans of World War II or Korea or Vietnam or any of the other conflicts, our soldiers and Marines and our military personnel, collectively speaking, were always very, very kind and generous to wherever we went. Much, as probably more so than any other country. And the only thing I used to wish when people would send me care packages, I thought, I wish these people from Hatboro or Upper Moreland could be here to give this stuff out, and they would really see, how grateful these people are for this stuff, and secondly, how poor they are too.
One more.
There's some of our vehicles in the back. We didn't like the kids too close to the vehicles because they had a tendency to take stuff. If they could reach in and grab something, they'd take it and run away. So I always tried to stand away from the vehicle, and then they would come over and kind of get entertained. Yeah, well, there's some of that jewelry I told you about. And you see some of these girls have earrings and hair barrettes. Could we go down a little bit? There's one or two others that I think everybody would really enjoy seeing.
There's a point of where we want to close this one down or minimize. And,
okay, can we go down right there? How about down a little further? Okay. How about right here, this one?
Okay.
Thank you. This is a bathroom for a school. There's a hole behind this wall, and then the sewage runs off into this ditch. And that's pretty much as sophisticated as their plumbing gets, unfortunately. This is a bathroom for a school. The school was out here where I'm standing. But,
Is it co-ed?
well, yeah, but one at a time. How about
And this is into
this one? Yes, ma'am, to crit. This one is a school. During the rainy season, you know, the water seeps up through the floor. No electric, no running water, no phones. They didn't have school this day. I'm thinking maybe, you know, the school got wet and they sent the kids home early or whatever. But I'll be very honest with you. I didn't want to take too many pictures of this because I felt like, you know, like you were gawking at poor people or taking advantage of less fortunate. And I snapped this one picture, and that was about all that.
What are the sacks in the left corner?
I think this is mortar or cement. There was another new school that we were building nearby, although it wasn't active at the time, the construction. But yeah, that's mortar.
Okay.
what are the times of the school day?
Usually school's over early. Can I see this one, Don? School usually is from about 8 to 11, and then from about 12 to 2 or 3. How about this? That's that new school we were building. This is a village that was so remote, there was no roads to it. We got together in our convoy, and the major said, I have grid coordinates, and there's no road to go to it. So we're just going to have to drive out over the desert. So we drove out into the desert, and he said, I think this is about 8 or 10 miles. And a lot of the desert was, that was the rainy season. You could see some of the green in the back. So the desert was firm. It wasn't sand either, it was dirt. So we finally found this village, and we had a bunch of money with us too. It was cash, because there was somebody out there that we had to pay for building this school. And, but anyway, in this village, there were many albinos. I'm assuming these children were albinos. And I think maybe they were Bedouin. You could see, I gave this girl a gold necklace. And I'm sure we gave something to this little girl. She might be holding it. But yeah, there was a lot of albinos in that village. It was kind of interesting. I'm not sure why that was, but that was a very, very remote village. Is there anything below this, Don? I don't think so. How about this one? This is to Crit City. It's just myself and another soldier. She is from Williamsport. She's from upstate. And we were down there, I think, on a patrol or something.
Were they mostly Sunnis?
In this area, they were Sunnis, yes. We really couldn't tell that much, but what they told us, they said, yeah, most of this area is Sunnis. And I don't know, from what I understand, the Sunnis are a little more progressive in their interpretation of Islam. They're a little more, I think, flexible than the Shiites. I might be wrong about that, but that's kind of how it was explained to us. No, actually, I put that blue tape on there, so if I ever put my weapon down, I'd know that's my weapon. Just kind of a visual. But yeah, yeah, that is to keep the dust out. That is a cap. And I just put a piece of blue tape at the end. I also have blue tape on the back, too. So in case I ever put it down, as I say, I know it's mine.
What's that device under the helmet?
That's a digital camera. Yeah, I'm sure that was hanging from her LBE.
How come you don't wear your stripes?
Well, we wear them on our collar. Yeah, we wear, and then we have this, that's one of those protective vests, and you can't really see it. But also, you wear your stripes on your helmet, too. So if you have your they call it a Kevlar, if you wear your helmet, you can see she was an E7, I think. Could we go up a little bit, Don? How about this one? Same village, we're albinos. You can see this is fairly cold weather, yet these kids are still wearing sandals. I never saw anything like that. They wear, I think the kids call them jellies. They look like jellies. How about this one, Don? Yeah, these trucks are from the Wyoming National Guard. You see, you might be able to see that. That's a bucking bronco behind that kid's hand, and that was from the Wyoming National Guard. Now, somebody asked about armor, and I said that we'd never had any, and we didn't. But this guy got armor someplace. That looks like a metal plate, and you can see it looks like he pulled it out of a junkyard someplace. But inside here is an automatic weapon, what they call a SAW, squad automatic weapon. And, you know, usually whenever we would go into a village, some soldier had to stay up in the box just to look around, make sure nobody's sneaking up on us. In case there was a need for an automatic weapon, you know, they could utilize it from that perch. I thought this was interesting. This girl is teaching this little girl how to hold up 2 fingers.
Do the kids smoke over there?
No. Never. They're actually, even the adults really don't smoke too much. How about maybe one more? How about this one? Again, the kids are really photogenic. They love to get their picture taken. Believe it or not, they used to ask frequently about Michael Jackson. I'm not sure why. They heard something about Michael Jackson. They used to ask about him. Sometimes we would point, they would ask about Michael Jackson. We would point to one of our African-American soldiers and we'd say, Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson. So,
Do you have television much?
I didn't see, in the one village elder's house we went into in this village, you could see we built a playground for them in the back there. That was one of the things we did for them. The one village elder whose house we went into periodically had a television. I also saw some satellite dishes here and there. So, you know, they had some entertainment anyway. Okay, I've been talking for almost 2 hours, and you've been a great audience. So, can I just tell you 2 more things? I thought that it would be, sometimes people say, you know, what's the difference or what's the same about the Army from when your father served? And I will tell you this, and this is a good thing, because I tell you some not so good things today, but, you know, soldiers are still very, very loyal to one another. You know, they accept hardships. Sometimes they complain, sometimes they don't. It's a little bit different now because everybody's a volunteer. Not to go to Iraq, but everybody's a volunteer for the military. But, you know, that loyalty to one another, and you pick up for one another, you take care of one another. And, you know, that kind of thing is still the same as it was when many of you served in World War II or Korea or Vietnam or whenever. And that is one of the good things. And, you know, there's still rumor mongering where, you know, somebody hears something and, you know, blows it out of proportion. They say, oh yeah, we're going home in 2 weeks. And, you know, everybody gets real excited and they find out 2 weeks passes and no, I meant 2 months. And that kind of thing happens. The soldiers' attitude towards the war is, you know, there's more, I have to watch what I say because I'm still a reservist. And I don't want to get in trouble, but you know, the soldiers just do what they have to do. You know, most soldiers are not happy about being there, but, you know, we know it's an all-volunteer military. Some soldiers signed up for different reasons. Some soldiers served for patriotic purposes. Other soldiers signed up for college money. Other soldiers signed up because they wanted to learn to, fix vehicles or be a refrigerator repair person or technician. So, I mean, people enlist and serve for different purposes, but, I don't think morale is great. We used to laugh sometimes. Sometimes soldiers would get mad, but we would be watching satellite TV and we would see a famous politician, in Baghdad, and he would be surrounded by soldiers in pressed uniforms, all cleanly shaven, and the politician would be saying how great morale is, and we would be laughing like, who's this guy talking to? He should come up here where nobody has a clean uniform and nobody gets pressed uniforms. And but soldiers have always been like that. They accept their mission and they complete it to the best of their ability. And there's lots of good leaders, and there's some leaders who are not so good, just like years ago. And so, okay, thank you very much. How you doing? We met before. I said we met before, didn't we?
Before we leave, I'd like to make one announcement. We have to continue telling you that we have expenses, so anyone that can contribute to the expenses would be helpful. Also, we have collected supplies, and there's a box there if you'd like to donate any money toward packing and shipping the supplies or for purchasing additional supplies, you're free to do so. There's a box there with the information on it.
Slide by you here.
Wherever they got on the internet to get it. Right. Or the CDs or something like that. They can't see you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And the other thing that I'm very much aware of, I had in the 60s, I was involved with the Association for the Blind and Tandem Bicycles, because now I ride anti-congo. But I see more on the TV